Hi guys, welcome to the Fear and Desire review in the Stanley Kubrick project, where us three are going to work our way through all of Stanley Kubrick's movies and talk about them. His first film is Fear and Desire, released in 1953.
Yeah.
And it's about an hour long. It's about 4 soldiers trapped behind enemy lines, facing their fears and desires. Oh, so creative with the name there. Geoff, can you let us know your experience watching this film?
I thought it felt like a very... It started off, actually, like a Twilight Zone episode. It starts off with a monologue, and I was half expecting Sterling, or whatever his name is, Rod Sterling, to pop out there and go, "Imagine, if you will," and like the camera to pan over, which the camera did pan over, and then it showed the soldiers and
Their fear and desires.
Their fear and desires. I mean, it was interesting.
I feel like you're the biggest Kubrick fan here, so how would you say this ranks among his other work?
I mean, not as good as like Dr. Strangelove or anything coming. I feel like this was obviously like a beginner's work.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely tell that.
Danner, so what did you think about the movie?
I don't know, it was interesting. You could definitely tell that it starts off, I don't know, it has a Kubrick feel to it, but it's definitely not Kubrick in his prime. It's definitely...
It's baby Kubrick.
Yeah, it's baby Kubrick.
He was already developing like his Kubrickisms, like, you know, the Kubrick stare. There was a lot of close-ups.
He has the goatee, he's not gone full beard yet.
Yeah.
Baby Kubrick.
He's not super interested in characters. Like, he's not... You don't really delve into the characters very much. You just kind of know what they are, which is soldiers in war, and then they're put in a weird circumstance.
And I will say, like, everything was framed really well.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
It was just a very well done movie for probably the equipment that they had at the time and all that, and the limited resources he had. It was excellently shot.
I think we'd all know it was Kubrick, even if it didn't say. Like, it feels Kubrick.
Yeah. Even if you don't like Kubrick, the one thing you can always say like about his movies is that they're shot well, which you mentioned. Like, all of his movies look good, even if you don't like them, Corley.
In comparison, though, to some of his other movies where the dialogue is a little sparser, here we get like these monologues, though, that are like almost like they're almost literary sounding. They sound like something you read in a book, but they sound like something that's clearly been written and thought through and stuff, and does more to show the inner psyche of the character rather than show them through action.
Correct.
And it was. I mean, it was a different direction from what I expected, but I liked it, actually. I thought it was
I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I think what killed it, it's like, an hour and 12 minutes? It gets some big themes and has no time to develop any of them.
It doesn't have any resolution, really.
If he was smart enough, maybe, to pick one and not dive into the stuff he didn't have time to, I think you could have had a good short. But I think him trying to bite off more than he could chew was hard.
I feel like the best part were the general's monologues. When he's talking about, you know... He's imprisoned, basically.
And Kubrick's movies are normally known for being, like, 3 hours long, or close to it. And this one seemed like he tried taking a normal 3-hour movie that he would have made and cram it into an hour and however
like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. It's an hour-long Twilight Zone episode. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Okay, Tanner, what did you think the worst qualities in the movie were?
I feel like this is only something someone who's seen it will understand, but I felt like every aspect of the movie was very vague.
Agreed.
I feel like the characters were pretty vague, the story was vague, and the ending was very vague as well. Like, after it ended, I felt like nothing was resolved the way it should have been, if that makes any sense.
I think for me, the worst bit, and this will be for people that know it, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime for free if you want to steal Prime from one of your relatives, is there's a really weird story point where they kidnap a woman for no reason.
Oh, yeah, that was really
that one weird. That's like a Seinfeld episode going, let's have an incest episode. It's like, this does not fit in the box we're in.
Yeah.
This feels very like you're trying so hard to make the army look bad. It didn't come naturally.
Not even slightly.
It kind of tried to show the character of Sidney, whatever his name was. Yeah. Sidney, I think. Tried to show his insanity and stuff, but like you said, it felt kind of forced. Like it was trying to be edgy, and it was like, okay. I mean, I feel like for me the worst quality of this movie was probably the fact that you don't really have any reasons to care for the characters at all. They're just there, and you don't really like any of them for any particular reason. And none of the movies have to have a character to root for. Because there are plenty of movies I love where all the characters are just complete jerks and you don't like them. But
like most of your friends in real life.
But yeah, pretty much. Like you guys. But I mean, there's usually something to understand the characters with, and the character of the guy who's on the raft at the end, him and I think the general, those are the two most developed characters in the movie, and we only get to hear anything from them for about 20 minutes, and then it's over, and it's just kind of disappointing in that regard.
I mean, in most Kubrick movies, though, the characters aren't very deep.
Yeah.
You don't know much about them, and what...
Well, because they're not the focus, either.
Well, yeah, it's the story that happens, and their actions are kind of what leads you to understand the characters more, rather than through dialogue or even, like, any sort of exposition whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what they do and what they say throughout the movie. Well, more what they do throughout the movie that allows you to understand their personality better.
Right.
Yeah.
So a bit of trivia for you guys, because I always try and like read up on movies before I review them. I'm going to give you a true or false, and I'm just curious if you guys think this is true.
Okay.
Stanley Kubrick tried to destroy the negative of this movie because he said, and I quote, he felt like it was a child's drawing on a fridge, and he wasn't able to obtain the negative to destroy it.
I would definitely say that's true.
I feel like that's
true.
I
That
feel like
sounds
that's
very Kubrick.
I feel like that's true too. He was a perfectionist.
That is very true. He hates this movie with a passion, and I feel bad because I actually didn't mind it as much as
I feel kind of like ambivalent about the movie. I don't really like.
you don't care.
I don't really know if I care either way. Like objectively, I think it was good, but I don't really care for it.
Well, Geoff, now you have to care a little bit. So now we're going to rate the movie, and the way this works is we're all going to write our score on a whiteboard, and then we combine all the scores together. We go from 1 to 10, and you guys let us know 1 to 10 what you give this movie. Okay. All right, you guys ready to reveal? Geoff, you first. What do you give it?
I give it a 7.
Wow.
I feel like objectively it was a very good, not a very good movie, but a good movie. A very solid.
It was well done.
It was a
not
solid
something to watch again.
A solid movie.
Okay, Tanner.
I gave it a 6.5, just because it's one of those movies that, while it was good, I feel like it wasn't anything that I'd care to ever watch again. It was kind of one of those, I saw it once, I'm done. I don't know, nothing stood out to me. What about you, Corley?
I feel bad because I feel like I liked it. I'm going to give it a 5.5. I feel like it was half a good movie.
I feel like our our ratings are like drastically different. Like our ideas of ratings.
Like 3 different people with their own opinions. Okay.
You're like, I actually liked it more than I expected. 5.5.
Yeah, well, I thought it was going to be a 3. So my expectations were here, and it got here. I was happy. But, so next week, we're going to do The Killing. We're not going to kill anybody, but the next Stanley Kubrick movie is The Killing, and we also have reviews of It coming up. So make sure to tune in next week and check those out. If you want to watch along, just get on IMDb and see where his films start and catch up with us. You're 1 behind. You can do it. Stranger things have happened. See you guys next week.
All right.